And we're underway here in Luanda. Third game of the day in this wonderful, wonderful city. And maybe the biggest game of the day as the home team Angola take on Uganda. Angola in the hunt for a spot at the World Cup later this year. Backdoor cut, nice move. The defense recovered well though, did enough to push Bale away from the basket. Montero for three. Not enough on that one. Rebound pulled down by Odeke. Bale. No good. Neither team finding it easy early on here. Apologies for the lack of graphics at the moment. We're working to resolve that issue. Down, steps up for the three. That one's short as well. Both teams leaning into the perimeter shooting to start the game. Not sure that's wise from Angola's perspective. Surely going to the basket. There is a undersized team, Uganda, also with just 9 players suited for today's game. If they can force a little bit of foul trouble, Angola, onto Uganda, that could pay off. And Enabu is knocked to the floor by Francesco. Baseline ball for Uganda. And that one's thrown straight away, and turnover ball, and Angola will take possession, and a scrappy start to the game. Neither team really taking the game on early here. As Down brings it up over the half, hands it off to Montero. Back to Gonçalves. Trying to shake. He's going to shoot again from distance, and once again it's a miss, but they get the offensive rebound but don't get the score. And I can see that as a strategy. The pass is too heavy from Odeke, sorry. And that will be another turnover as coach Senyondwa looks on, taking over from coach Galanopoulos for this qualification window. Stolen away, Gonçalves. Sorry, Bale. Has it knocked away. Really scrappy start to the game, and you wonder if it will be the first team who just finds a little bit of momentum, finds a little bit of composure, that will take the advantage early. Will they be able to create a lead early? We're over 2 minutes in, and neither team are yet to score. Gonçalves spills the ball, but it's dropped out of bounds by Odeke, is it? Yes, it is. It will remain Angola ball on the baseline. Long inbound pass. Quickly collected up by Down. Good ball movement here by Angola. That was better. You could feel the rhythm from Angola in the way they moved, the way they spread the floor. That should give them some confidence now. Enabu tries to find the cutter, but the pass was a little bit early. That one goes straight out of bounds. Gonçalves with that first three for Angola. Monteiro hands it off to Gonçalves. Oh, nice little Euro step and the finger roll. Jimmy Anabu just slices through the Angolan defense. Gonçalves open on the other side, and he rattles home his second triple of the game. Doubling Angola's total. Their lead out to 4. Anabu into the corner. Wide open. Kazito travels with it. That will be a turnover. As Angola make their first change of the game. Monteiro hands it back now. Gonçalves kicks it out to the corner. And Angola are getting the looks. They're getting the space on the perimeter. Just not quite found their range as of yet. Valenta that time. Oh, and the easy layup is blown by Okello. It's not going to get many easier than that. Coach Claros was at the helm of Bahrain in Asia Cup last summer, has moved across to Angola now and brings with him a real understanding of the game. Very strong style of coaching as well, demands the highest standards from his team. Bukila hands it back. Oh, and a poor pass will go straight out of bounds from Domingos. Yasin Domingos just not quite finding his teammate with that one. I wonder if defense could be the key here today for either of these teams, if they're able to just step the energy levels up defensively for a few phases of play. Will that create a little bit of a gap and claim a little bit of momentum as Makonda gets called for the foul? Yeah, just gets drawn in by the veteran Jimmy Anabu. Makonda, just 21 years of age, one of the future superstars for Angola. Had a great game last time they placed Uganda. Actually had 11 points and 4 steals in that one. Let's see what he can come away with here today. Lane opens up for him. Nice no-look pass. It's going to go inside to the left-hand roll, and a good finish by Valenta. Cleaning up in the paint. Anabu into the corner. Out of bounds is the call. Another turnover. 6-point lead for Angola. Coach Claros happy at the moment. This is just about going and getting the win. Into the game returns Bell. Out of the game comes Jimmy Anabu. And they're going to have to work on his rotation. He's critical for Uganda, but he's not going to be able to play 40 minutes 3 days in a row, so they're going to have to make sure that they ration his minutes on the floor to get the most out of him. Smart play in the end there by Fayed Bale, saving it by throwing it off the leg of Monteiro. To the bench goes Odeke. In the game comes Ochero. Shot goes up. That one's short. Valenta. Oh, a bit of hang time. Just floated through. Not enough time in the air to make a decision on exactly what he wanted to do while everyone else came down. Stolen away. 4-on-1 break. Lays it in. Makonda with the transition bucket. First double-digit lead of the game for Angola. Little double pump as he goes up. The crowd wanted him to throw it down. The defense was too tough for that, but with a 10-point lead early in this one, Coach Senyondwa is forced into a timeout. We're going to head into the huddles. We're going to listen into what the coaches have to say.
To be here. Okay? I need a guy here. Oxy, you be here. Okay. You make close by. Once you inbound, I want the ball to come back middle. And we move as an umbrella. Yeah. Three guys. We pass. They're making us make mistakes, making long passes, the high passes. Dribble and pass, don't dribble to the corners. Play the open court. All right? Let's go. One third without fouls, yeah? Angola!
Both coaches just trying to get their teams to maybe relax a little, lean on some of the fundamentals, lean on some of those training sessions that they've had together. Team basketball usually wins the game. Whichever team can operate at the highest level together will usually come away with the win in their kit bag. There's your example. Angola playing some great team defense. Makonda has to come back out to Monteiro. And Angola will slow it down again after the steal. Not what Coach Senyondwa would have wanted after the timeout. Three ball goes up, too heavy. Back of the iron, spits it away. Makonda inside, no look again. Oh, wow, went for the poster, Valenta this time. They'll go again. 2 seconds to work. In fact, a reset on the shot clock for Angola. Qualifiers couldn't get the score that time as he tried to skip his way through the Uganda defense. No defense offered early by Angola there, as Mugawa was just allowed to waltz his way into the paint. Eventually the defense comes across and Qualifiers causes the foul. So Klaros will make a change. At the line is Mugawa. This is the first, comes up short with that one. Hits the second. Angola will be happy defensively, holding Uganda to just 3 points in the first almost 7 minutes of this game. Bear in mind, Uganda average over 72 points a game in these qualifiers. The problem has always been on the other end of the floor for Uganda. They concede over 85. It's Valenta's turn to spill the ball out of bounds. Bale now tries to get up over the half. Angola's defense is pressing, to say the least. And it's stolen away. Qualifiers loses the handle to Bale, though. Good recovery. But is it stolen back? It is. Both teams just rushing a little right now as they try and find something in this game that hasn't been there so far. Skips through the middle. Teardrop with the left hand. That's a smart play by Domingos. And another steal. But it's stolen back again, or is it? It is. Uganda will have a wide open shot from the corner, and there's the three ball. Fayed Bale. Nails the three and doubles Uganda's tally. Angola's lead trimmed down to 8 now. A little over 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Makonda trying to throw another no-look pass. I'm not sure he knows any other pass style, but no-look. Lovely handle from Downer. But another steal for Angola. Into the game will come a very familiar face, Teotonio Do. Played in all 9 of the previous qualifiers. As Angola look to continue to apply a little full court pressure, see if they can grab a few possessions over the norm. See if the pressure pays off against an undermanned Ugandan team. Obleng for 3. Rattles around the rim and away. Angola's lead stays at 8 as Doe sets the screen. Oh, lovely backdoor cut. Oh, lovely little double pump as well. Couldn't get the score, and the fight is still inside. Doe joins the fight now for Angola, and the foul will eventually be called on Rogers Downer. We'll see Teotonio head to the free throw line, just shooting 42% in these qualifiers though. Certainly not an area of the game that you would say is a strength of his. It's the second. Almost into the final minute of this first quarter. Pretty low scoring game for both of these teams, both of them averaging in the early to mid 70s. On track for more, a game closer to the 60-point threshold. But the nerves will settle and the teams will start to find some offensive flow. It's just which team finds it first, and who can hold on to it for the longest will potentially dictate who could blow open this game. At the moment it's Angola, they lead by 9. Under a minute left in this first quarter. Domingos called for the foul. That will send Fayed Bale to the line. Gets the roll on the first free throw. Hits the second as well, takes his personal tally out to 5 now. Domingos hands it inside. That is great point guard play from Jason Domingos. Bad. Fouled by Makonda. Angola in the penalty, have been for a while, so Bale will head back to the free throw line, and Makonda just over-committing there and really opening the door for Uganda to attack him. Just his body positioning, his shaping wasn't right to be able to recover. And at the moment, if there's a player that's been most impressive, it is Bale. Doe with the rebound though, as Bale splits his free throws and stops at 6 points personal. Makonda. Little shake, change of direction from Makonda. The pass is a shoelace pass though to Luis. Konda will head to the bench. Back in comes Dundao. Can Uganda get anything to go in the final few seconds? Are they going to throw it away? It ends up on the floor, as do some bodies. And that will be the end of the first quarter here in Luanda. And 10 minutes down. And for Coach Claros and his team, you would have to say, job done so far. It's not been pretty. But at the end of 10, it's Uganda 9, Angola 17. Here are some of the stats from that first quarter. As I say, not the prettiest of encounters between these two, but look at that number. 14 attempts from 2-point range, 9 attempts from 3-point range. It's just a matter of maths with regards to Angola. They're going to have more shot attempts. It means that more than likely they're going to come away with more points at the end of the game. Here are some of the highlights from that first quarter. Bit of a slow start. Eventually Angola got things going though and started to stamp their authority on the game. Always the expectation that Angola were going to be the more controlling team in this game. For Uganda, you feel that it's more of a matter of trying to stay in touching distance and then hoping that they have a chance in the business end of the game into the fourth quarter, into the final minutes. If they're close, can they just push on a little and claim what would be a very big surprise win here in Luanda? Remember, this is part of the World Cup qualifiers here in Group E. Angola entered this window second in the group, just behind Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire already secured their qualification. They lost earlier today to Nigeria. That really has blown Group E wide open, as Angola, Cape Verde and Nigeria are still trying to fight for qualification. No real surprise that Angola are first back to the floor, ready to go. They want to pick up where they left off. Try and get some momentum back into the game. Push through and try and secure and seal this win out as early as they can. They don't want to leave it to chance, as some families are in the stands watching this one, enjoying it. Great to see young fans courtside being inspired. Can't wait to see them in the national team jersey themselves on the floor, be it here, the Men's World Cup or the Women's World Cup. The love for basketball is growing around the world, and Angola is a prime example of that. Nice baseline drive, and a great follow by Odeke. Just stayed with the play, and Abu drew 3 defenders onto him. Gave Odeke the space to scoop up the offensive board and put it back for the 2. Dundao. Elbow jumper. That one's short. Rebounding battle is extended, but eventually falls to Jaun. That's come off the hands of Odeke. Will be Angolan ball on the baseline. Pass inside, Jaun, no good. Rebound ripped down by Okello, but thrown away again. Uganda really struggling to hold on to possession. Thankfully for them, Angola's shooting percentages are pretty low right now. Angola just not being efficient with the additional possessions they're getting. Oh, that is a great kick out though. 5 left on the shot clock. Quick burst to the basket on the quick first step, and the follow is good. Just raw hustle gets the 2 points there. Step back 3. Oh, that is a sweet, sweet stroke. Once again, Fayed Bale really has come out to play today. Brings his team back to within 5, takes his personal haul to 9 now. Teotonio puts up the 3, but that one clangs away. Angola look a little bit sloppy here in the second quarter, and Uganda are going to make advantage, are they? No! Offensive foul called on Odeke. Well, there's the charge violation. Easy call for the officials. As Teotonio heads to the bench. Kokila and Monteiro, and Gonzalez comes in for Joan, Doe and Domingos. And the score there, and that's a smart swap up by Coach Claros. Reading that maybe his team's a little stale offensively to start the quarter. Bit of rotation, some fresh legs onto the floor, and it has the desired outcome. But Uganda are loving this open, broken play. This certainly helps them. I'm not sure it will for the full 40 minutes, though. On a shorter rotation, will fatigue play its part. Rebound ripped down, literally, by Kizito. Obleng now to Okello, back to Obleng. That one's short. And just sheer numbers of Angola fighting for the defensive rebound enables them to secure possession. 3 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Angola's lead holding steady at 7. And as I said, for Uganda, you feel like a target for them is just to stay in touching distance, give them a chance, give them a ticket in the lottery of the fourth quarter. Good ball movement. 3 ball goes up and goes home. Kizito brings Uganda swiftly back into the game as Angola's lead is trimmed down to just 4. They led by 11 at one point. Uganda's relentless style, their hustle, their scrappiness has blasted them back into this game, and Coach Claros wants to talk it over. We're going to jump straight into these huddles and listen to the coaches.
Parece que se acaba el mundo. Se da bola adentro, poste baixo contrario, opposite low, we go to opposite low, we get in the ball inside, we just stop playing. No, bola va adentro, ¿qué hacemos? Estamos 4 fuera, bola adentro, le están a pushar, no falta. Después en defensa no ha presión ya. Si estás a jugar, trabajas en defensa, si no, a descansar. Hay que parar de lanzar triplos, si no es triplo con resalto.
Coach Pep Claros there just asking for his team to stay with the play. Don't think it's over once the ball goes inside. There's more to it than that. Keep running the rotations, moving off the ball, providing outlets is key. There's a QR code on the screen. Stream schedules and scores. Courtside 1891. Definitely recommend to subscribe to that if you love your live international basketball. 3.5 minutes gone now in this second quarter, and Uganda have looked a lot better here. They found a little bit of a rhythm to their style of play here in the second quarter. Horn's offense run by Angola now. Kick to the corner, fading out of bounds. That is always a near impossible shot for Gonçalves to make. And you have to give credit to Uganda's defense there, really. They rotated, they hustled, they closed the driving lines out, shepherding people to the baseline. Inabu, soft scoop shot high off the glass, just over the outstretched Angolan arm. And Uganda are within 2 as Inabu claims his 4th point of the game. Monteiro hands it off now to Gonçalves. Gonçalves trying to drive inside, but throws it away. There's a turnover. As much as it's a bad pass, I do agree with the questioning why he's got two teammates standing right next to each other. A prime example of poor spacing, to say the least. Uganda now with the numbers advantage. Into the corner, wide open three ball is good, and Uganda take the lead. Just understated performance here from Uganda. No glamour or glitz. Just straightforward fundamental basketball getting Uganda into the lead. Monteiro comes up short. Uganda ball on the baseline. Back into the game comes Downer. Obleng at the top. Oh, give and go. Obleng goes high. Oh, he almost gets the and one play. He'll have to earn his points the hard way, though, from the free throw line. Uganda in the lead. Converts both from the free throw line, and for Uganda it's so important. Those small pieces of the puzzles, free throws, will play a big part in today's game. 2-point lead for Uganda now. Offensive foul is called. And Uganda are really starting to take control of this game. Everything going their way. Now is time for them to capitalize. It's in these moments, these purple patches, that as a team you need to make the most of the opportunities that you are given. Coach Claros looking on, wondering how he can change things up to change his team's fortunes. Not sure there truly is much at the moment. Angola just needs to execute the game plan he's put down. Down a call for the travel. Both teams at the moment really struggling to protect their possession. Uganda averaging almost over 19 turnovers a game, whilst Angola just 16. Today Uganda already have 13 turnovers. Angola have 10. As we see another fading jumper from Peter Obleng. And Uganda's lead is out to a high 4. Gonsalves. Little give and go, but once again another turnover. As Uganda really just look to flood the paint, close the lanes off. They thought the whistle had gone, but it hadn't. Some confusion here. So it'll be a sideline possession for Uganda. Ball inbounded to Okello. To Inabu. Comes up short with the jumper. Angola really do need to trigger something right now. Pass inside. The defense floods again, but the follow is there. And that's the kind of hustle that Angola need. They've been outscored 16-6 in this quarter. A few phases of play, a few possessions, both ends of the floor really could help Angola spark something. That one's from way downtown and so unnecessary for Angola. Uganda certainly looking more calm and composed with the two teams, and you wonder if chasing this World Cup spot for Angola kind of puts a little bit more pressure onto them, a little bit more weight on their shoulders. Oh, and Uganda have just gifted the ball up. And is that going to be an unsportsmanlike foul? We'll wait and see. Kizito was chasing back after catching his teammate in the face and causing Jimmy Anabu just to give the ball up. Very interesting phase of play, and you do wonder if Julius Kizito will get called for an unsportsmanlike foul there. Coach Claros is asking why not. The officials are saying no, just a regular foul. Kizito's second foul. 3 minutes 5 seconds left in this second quarter. Still a discussion, I presume, regarding whether the foul should be upgraded or not. It won't be. 2 shots to come for Shilda Dundao. It's the first of his 2, and for Angola, it's quite important 3 minutes this as we work towards the half break. In an ideal world, Angola would want, you know, a big double-digit lead already so they can cruise through the second half a little bit like some of the other teams have done so far today, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the way. Angola now would probably be setting a target of let's just have a lead to take into the half-time locker room. That would be seen as a good way to close out the first half, I imagine. Okello. Moved across to Kizito. Still 10 on the shot clock. Okello tries to bully his way inside. Kizito spills possession. Open on the outside. Bale with another 3. He has come to play. He has a hot hand right now. Fayed Bale. Not much more that he can do. Really is very, very impressive. Gonçalves. Foul's going to be called. Let's see who it's on. I think it's on Kizito. If it is, it's his 3rd foul. And that could be a problem for Coach Senyondwa. I think the officials are just asking Coach Claros to calm down a little as he's in their ear quite a bit, but that is his style of coaching. Certainly passionate and vocal. Nice ball movement here from Angola. Good spreading of the floor, and when they do it, they look good. This time it's Monteiro with the 3 ball. And just like that, Angola have tied the game up. Other end of the floor, Downer unable to get the score going along the baseline. Final 2 minutes of the half. Another 3 ball. This time it's off target though. But not for Gonçalves. He gets the 3 to go, and Angola take a 3-point lead. Look at the smiles in the crowd. They're enjoying it. Not sure Coach Claros is just yet. Substitutions for both sides. And as we see, Peter O'Blaine come back into the game. Also in is Francisco. Out of the game comes Valenta for Angola. Almost stolen away, but Bale holds on to it. Gets it back, wide open in the corner. The 3's going up. It's not going down though. Rebound by Francisco. Behind the back. Foul's going to be called. That's a nice pass by Jason Gonçalves. Beautiful vision. That's a good cut as well. Baseline ball for Angola. 1 minute 23 left in this first half, and it's not been a picture-perfect first half of basketball, but both these teams have had phases where they've controlled the game. They've both had phases where things have slowed down or become a little bit tougher for them. The key now, without a shadow of a doubt, for both of these teams is to get to the locker room and really just find a way to take some control for a prolonged period of time and create a gap. Monteiro, another three, no good. Big rebound, comes back to the top. Angola will go again. Francesco, no good. Which way is that? Monteiro is asking for the foul. Officials are going to just give it out of bounds, but it is in favor of Angola. Let's have a look at the replay. Yeah, no, that looks like it's been knocked away. I'm not sure it was on the arm. Baseline ball for Angola. Monteiro drives inside, ends up on the floor. Shot goes up. Shot clock violation. But the officials are saying, did it touch the ring or not? Officials are saying it didn't touch the ring, so it is a shot clock violation. Coach Claros not happy, but that's the decision the officials are taking. Bale has it batted away. Great defense by Angola. They're out at the break. In transition, reverse layup is good. Strong play. Out on the fast break. Domingos just getting out and running. Only one thing in his mind, that was going hard to the basket, taking the body contact, but staying with the play. Does so, gets a score, gets a trip to the free throw line as well. Yeah, you could see his intention, leaning in, trying to draw that contact. Smart play by the 26-year-old. And he converts the three-point play. Angola's lead now out to 6. This is what Angola will have wanted for the halftime break. Drive inside, there's the handoff. No good though, rebound falls to Obleng. Bale pulls up three, in and out this time. 10 seconds of the first half remaining. Will they get it away? They will, but it's from a long way out. And that will be the end of the first half here in Uganda. And what a first half, a real interesting one on show. Angola entered the game as heavy favourites, but at the half they only have a 6-point lead. It's Uganda 28, Angola 34. Well, a back and forth first 20 minutes of basketball here. Luanda, fans starting to make themselves heard. Angola dominating the rebounding battle, not making it fully pay right now, but based on their performance, they'll be relatively happy to have a 6-point lead to take into the halftime locker room. Leading all scorers is Faid Bale with 12 for Uganda, and then Gonçalves with 9 leads the way for Angola. Here are some of the highlight plays from that first half of action. And it has been an interesting first half, to say the least. Uganda had a really tough start to the game. They only scored 9 points in the first quarter, but they seemed to flick a switch. I'm not sure what Coach Senyondwa said in that first quarter break, but they came out, looked very, very different. Outscored Angola 19-17 in the second quarter. Much of it coming in the hands of Fayed Bale. Ends up with 12 points at the half, 3 from 7 from downtown. He's the only player in double digits for Uganda. In fact, he's the only player on the floor in double digits. Peter Obleng has 6 for Uganda, but that is it really. For Angola, their scoring is pretty evenly spread. They have 10 players already registered on the scorebook, and it's Jason Gonçalves that is leading the way with 9 points. Domingos with 5, and Montero with 5, as well as 6 rebounds and 3 assists. But like I say, neither coach will be overly happy with the first half that they've witnessed from their team here today, but neither will be devastated either. They're both still in the game for Uganda. They are here to cause an upset. They are the thorn in the side of Angola, who, remember, are still trying to fight for a World Cup spot. Uganda are not. So the pressure is off Uganda and certainly on Angola, especially in front of this crowd here on their home floor in Luanda. How they respond in the second half will be interesting. I'm sure there are some choice words being had in that Angolan locker room right now. Coach Claros, not a coach to hold back. He'll be making sure his team know what his expectations are for the second half. The second half that is just around the corner, moments away now. So do make sure that you quickly just go and grab yourself some snacks and then head back for all the second half action live here. It should be a really interesting 20 minutes of basketball as Angola try to push on and take a step forward towards claiming a World Cup spot. But at the half, it's Uganda 28, Angola 34. Second half action underway here in Luanda. 20 minutes already in the book. Angola lead by 6. And that is what Coach Claros was asking for. He's asking his team to go to the basket, go strong, make things happen. But first possession has ended up without points, but I don't think he'll be overly upset. That is what he wants. He knows that's where they will get points. He shouldn't be disheartened by one possession where they don't come away with anything. Odeke hands it back to Bale. Bale almost has it stolen. It's stolen this time instead. Clear runway. There's the two-hander. And the backboard slap. Adds a little bit of authority on the back end of that one. And a turnover by Uganda. This is exactly what Angola wanted. Just a warning for Angola, though, for hanging on the ring. Next time, that'll be a technical foul. Down now with possession. Baseline drive, floats it high. Foul will be called. And credit where credit's due. Angola have come out and they are now following a game plan. This is the most direct and aggressive we've seen in the entire game. We are but maybe a minute into this second half, and this is Angolan style of basketball. There's the steal. Here's the runaway two-hander. And the stamp of authority at the end with the slap. Three ball goes up and it's good. And just like that, we have an 11-point lead for Angola. Domingos with 8 points now. And Odeke has picked up the dribble. It's almost stolen away. And it's thrown out of bounds. And look at the hustle level for Angola. If this is what they played at in the first half, this game would already be over, if you ask me. They have turned up in a big way in the second half. Put in a lot more energy, a lot more effort, and they're getting their reward. No real surprise. Coach Senyondwa has called a timeout here. His team trail by 11. He needs to stop the rot as soon as he can. Let's head into his huddle.
We rush
set drag screens. The rest of the guys go. Inbound the big man. Yeah. Inbound the big man. Drag screens, be ready for the ball.
Simple.
Yeah.
We're the ones keeping it away.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Execute on 3. 1, 2, 3. Execute.
Uganda hoping it's a simple fix.
En defensa, muito bem, mas que no te ataque ao meio depois, ¿sí? Mais perto, pintas, los llevas a un lado para comenzar a presionar.
Eu mexo porque já está à tua espera.
Chile, no repita sistema. Cross 4, libre.
Angola!
No, libre base. Cross 4, libre base. Cross 4, libre base.
Uganda with an early timeout here in the second half. Not even 90 seconds elapsed before they call the timeout, but it's the right call from coach Senyondwa. He needs to stop the rot. They hope it's a simple fix. Stop cluttering possession, clear the way a little bit, let the point guard work. 3 ball up, and another one. Angola really putting the pressure on Uganda right now. Looks like a different team's turned up for Angola here in the second half so far. Shot goes up, that one's short. What's the call? There's a foul there somewhere. Little conversation there between Fernandez and Okello. Sideline ball now with Odeke to inbound. Sorry, Kizito to inbound. It will be an important 2-3 minutes now for Uganda. Can they regain their composure, or has it really pushed them off their stride? With shots taken like that, you have a feeling it's broken that intensity they had in the first half. And now need to re-establish. Down. Ball back out to the top. That's short. Wow, what a big rebound. Reaches up high to pull that one down. Bodies all over the floor right now. Bale 3, not this time. Fernandez with the rebound. $14-point lead for Angola. This is exactly how Coach Claros will have wanted them to start this second half. Much more aggression to the way they're playing. However, it's starting to tail off in the last minute or so. Starting to become scrappy again for Angola, and this is where Uganda will find a way back in. Kizito loses possession. Odeke throws it away though. Knocked out of bounds by Angola, so it'll still be Ugandan ball on the baseline. As Down tries to get there, but can only swat it away. Angola will make the change. Plenty of sweat on the floor that needs cleaning up. Steps out of bounds. How many times do we see players do that? That little back step before they push forward. Catches them out every time. Sideline ball for Angola on the back of another Ugandan turnover. And when you trail by 14 in a low-scoring game, those turnovers almost hurt double. Valenta now. Valenta turns the corner, opens up, down wide open, hits the 3. And Angola starting to take flight. That's a big shot from the 24-year-old. Taking a real leadership role here. Nice pass from Valenta, though. He does a lot of the hard work to make the Ugandan defense collapse, creating that perimeter space for Dundown to operate within. Another turnover for Uganda, and Angola will go again. Relentless now. The red wave pummeling Uganda. 3-ball goes up. That one's a little bit shallow on the trajectory. Oh, but just bully ball under the basket from Kokila. Just wanted it more than anyone else. As Makonda's going to come back into the game, Coach Claros will be so much happier with this second half, Angola. Look at this. It is just pure brute strength that gets Kokila to the basket, drawing the foul off Okello. That's his third. Still 16 minutes on the game clock. It's foul trouble now for Coach Senyondwa to deal with. But before that, we see Kokila head to the free throw line. Just his third game in the qualifiers. 21 years of age. Real bright future ahead of him in the national team for sure. Hits the second. There's his fan club in the stands. Almost stolen away. Skip inside. Odeke comes out. Bale for 3. That's short, and he had a hot first half. He's had an ice cold second one so far. Makonda slides his way through the paint for 2. And Uganda again throw it away. Just an impatience from Uganda. At times it was an advantage in the first half when they tried to create a little chaos, a little disruption to unease Angola. But at the moment all it's doing is creating unease amongst themselves and creating turnovers. Angola now 20 points ahead. Physical defense there from Odeke. Bale drives all the way along the baseline. Bale for 3. Misses another. And it was all one-way traffic right now as Angola control this game. There's the lob, and there's the two-handed alley-oop. That's what the crowd want. That's what the crowd will get here in Luanda. They're on their feet. It's party time as Angola have just been dominant. And Abu tries to quieten things down. Hits a 3 for Angola. Not sure 1-3 will be enough to quieten the crowd. Travelling violation called on Makonda. $19-point lead for Angola. Just spun his way into Odeke. No way that's a foul. Odeke is purely retreating. But there's the lob, and there's the two-hander. Crowd on their feet. They love that one. I have a feeling there may be some more coming our way as the game progresses if Angola continue to push on. Ochero hands it over, though, for Uganda. Travelling violation on Zhao. Sideline ball for Uganda. You can almost sense an anticipation here in the arena as the crowd know that the good version of Angola is potentially here. The world-class version of Angola has turned up here in the second half after a shaky first 20 minutes. Makonda with a spin. Oh, absolutely abused as he goes to the basket, batted away. Great defensive rim protection from Odeke. Three-point fake, steps to the side. That's short, grabs his own rebound though. And Angola will get a fresh 14 to work with. Makonda, crossover, skips through. Poor play really there by Jose Makonda, the 21-year-old, just getting a little carried away and swept away with the emotion and the energy of the second half. There's the number for you, 27 offensive rebounds for Angola in this game. Unreal, they average 17 a game. It's more offensive rebounds than they average defensive rebounds. That's how dominant they've been on the offensive glass tonight, Angola. Good defense here by the men in red as Valenta bats it out. Just 5 seconds left on the shot clock for Uganda. And that will be a shot clock violation as Uganda just don't have the heads up. They're starting to lose track of the game, starting to see their heads drop a little. The body language is changing for Uganda. They were buoyant in the first half, resilient at times. And now, as fatigue starts to set in a little with 13 minutes to play, that body language has changed somewhat. Odeke. Good defense as he forces Zhao into a traveling violation. Uganda now struggling to get it up over the half. Oh, that's a beautiful pass. Can Makonda finish it? He can't. Angola will get another go at it though. Oh, wow, what a finish. Angola putting on an all-star performance right now. This is a highlight clip reel all on its own. Got a top 10 plays from this game. Odeke high arcing from the free throw line, too high arcing really. But Uganda will retain possession. Uganda ball on the baseline, inbounded to Okello. He'll try and bully his way to the basket, but that one is just batted back out of bounds by Zhao. Still 11 seconds though for Uganda on the shot clock. How do Uganda bounce back from this game? This game isn't over yet, not by a long way. It's a 21-point lead, but still well over 12 minutes to play. Uganda have the firepower to get their way back in. Nice little shot fake. Oh, that is a beautiful play by Peter Obleng. That is pure experience, that one. Just read the defense perfectly. Took what they gave him. Oh, lovely pass. The finish isn't there, but they hit the offensive glass again. Rejected. They're going to go again. Bodies all over the floor. Officials are going to blow a whistle. That one was getting a little dangerous, I think. Coach Claros loving how hard his team are banging on the O-board. There's one. There's another. They're going to go again. There's another. And Uganda just under siege right now in their own paint. Not sure there's an answer. And the perspiration removal operative is working double time right now to clear up all that sweat. And that is some swagger. Cross-court pass to Gonzalez, and he nails the three with ease. Angola now just starting to slip it into cruise control as they get out onto the highway. 22-point lead. What a third quarter they've had. But Uganda refuse to give up. They will keep battling. Particularly when you have players like Jimmy and Abu in your team. He is not a player that steps back from a challenge. But you have to give Angola credit. They have outscored Uganda 21-7 in this quarter. Short corner jumper. Comes up short itself. Rebound by Okello. And the three ball is good from the wing for Obleng. Gonçalves. Angola far more confident, far more patient. Oh, that's a nice pass inside, and that's an even better finish. The defense was good from Jimmy and Abu, but the O was better from Angola. And there's the pass from Makonda. And there's the finish from Jaun. Can't convert the three-point play, though. So Angola's lead will stay at 19. That's short. Knocked out of bounds by Kokila. 28.9 seconds left in this third quarter, and what a third quarter we've had from Angola. This is the world-class Angola that will make waves at the World Cup if they can qualify for it. The first half one won't, but this one certainly will. It's all about consistency now, though, for Angola. And a little bit of composure as well as Makonda brings it back to the top. They'll look to take the final shot of this third quarter. There's the screen. That's the mismatch that Makonda wanted. And a little soft right-hand hook. And as long as you get it over the front of the iron, you're in with a chance. And that's exactly what Makonda did. And they will finish the third quarter with a 21-point lead, outscoring Uganda 23-10 in that quarter. That has blown this game here in Luanda wide open. 3 quarters in the books, and it's Uganda 38, Angola 59. Here are some of the stats from the first 3 quarters, and you compare those to what it looked like at the half, and Angola's percentages have gone through the roof. They really have started firing on all cylinders as they look to fight their way to the first win here in 3 games across this weekend. Here are some of the top plays from that third quarter. Most of them are going to come from the men in red. Here's the first one, the runaway dunk and the backboard slap. He got himself a warning, but you kind of think maybe it was worth it to a certain degree. Got things ignited, got the crowd on their feet and into the game. But as I say, 23-10 in favor of Angola in that third quarter, and that is what has blown this game wide open right now. Leading scorer is still Gonçalves with 12 points, but it tells you what a team performance we've got. Every single Angolan player has registered points, and only one player has double digits. That is team basketball in its absolute essence, and that's what we've seen in the third quarter from Angola. Everyone coming onto the floor, aligned to the same mission, with the same way to play. All about energy and aggressive nature on the offensive end, and it's paid off. 31 offensive rebounds in this game so far for Angola. They have more offensive rebounds than Uganda have defensive rebounds. Uganda have only taken 20 rebounds off their own boards, whilst Angola have taken 31. Fourth quarter action underway here in Luanda. The last game of the day, and what an exciting day we've had. 10 more minutes left in this one. Angola dominating, and there's another big breakaway dunk as Angola put a show on for the crowd. They flicked the switch in the second half. They now lead by 23 points, and Uganda just have no answer. Oh, rejected. Both ends of the floor. Angola have been so much more aggressive here in the second half. They really have tried to impose themselves on the game rather than be passive participants. They have tried to lead the way, and that has paid off in a big way. Makonda, too heavy, high rebound is being fought for. That will be Angolan ball. And just the numbers tell you all you need to know. Angola have 73 field goal attempts, whilst Uganda have had 37. If you have twice as many shots as the other team, more than likely you're going to come away with the win. I think that is fair to say. Another tough play. Jimmy Anabu, though, does collect a defensive rebound for Uganda, but he has to work so hard just to even get it over the half. Look at Coach Claros asking for tougher defense, and his team obliges. Foul will be called, though. This time on Achero, as he reaches in and just swipes down. Coach Claros, such an intense man. I was lucky enough to see him coaching Bahrain in the Asia Cup last summer, and some players responded really well to his intensity, others not so much, but it looks like Angola have responded well here in the second half. They have come out and played really Coach Claros style basketball. Hustle, heart, with a little bit of head thrown in as well. 25-point lead now for Angola as they start to try and close this game out. Coach Claros will be looking at his rotations as the game winds through as well. This is the first of 3 games for both of these teams. For Angola, they face Cape Verde tomorrow, and then they will close out the weekend against Nigeria on Sunday. As for Uganda, tomorrow they take on Cote d'Ivoire, and then on Sunday they will take on Guinea. Nice little sidestep 3, but the defense steps through on that well. And that one's going to be a turnover. No, it was deflected, so Uganda will hold on to possession. And how do Uganda build back from this? I'm not sure those young fans care too much. They have enjoyed seeing their team, Angola, I think, put on a masterclass. No good jumper from Achero. Monteiro hands it over to Fernandes. Monteiro open for 3. Bottom of the bucket. Antonio Monteiro. You love that. He's enjoying the game. 8 points now. Not shot the ball well from outside, though. 2 from 9. He's definitely a better shooter than that. Averaging over 30% across these qualifiers. You like to see that from players, though, expecting higher standards, even when your team's winning by this many. How can we do better? How can we keep improving? For Uganda, it's a little bit back to the drawing board, as we saw that close-up of Odeke. 3 ball goes up, that's short. Where's the rebound? Eventually it falls to Makonda. There's the lob. Oh my goodness, that would have been ridiculous if he'd got that one to go. Absolutely breathtaking if he got that one to go. That would have been the #1 highlight of the entire qualifiers, potentially across the world. Pass inside, no good. Long outlet pass. There's the flush. As Monteiro puts a show on for the crowd here in Luanda. They have been entertained throughout this second half by Angola. And it's just the hustle level of Angola here in the second half has just been relentless, and Uganda really haven't had an answer for it. They haven't had a way to limit the pressure that they've been feeling from Angola. As Monteiro heads to the bench, to the adulation of the crowd here. Adeke also going to the bench for Uganda. Teotonio Do comes in for Angola. Okello comes in for Uganda. On the baseline pass is no good from Achero. Another turnover from Uganda, and it's turning into a long night in the office here for coach Senyondwa. There is plenty for him to pull apart in this game tape before their game tomorrow. It's going to be a long night in front of the laptop for him as they try and rebuild. Down by 30 now. A little over 6 minutes left on the game. Gonçalves. A little back and forth between him and Dundao. All on the floor. So that's where the Ugandan players throw themselves, as do the Angolans. But Uganda come away with it. Fast break basketball now for them, but Kizito had no choice but to slow it down. Didn't quite have full control. So Uganda now will try and slow it down somewhat. Which way will the officials point? They'll say it's Angola ball. Plenty of happy faces in the crowd here in Luanda. Not a bad way to spend your Friday evening. Watching Coach Claros lead your national team to what could be a big win and a big step forward towards potential World Cup qualifications. Flush springs away this time, but it's stolen back on that telegraph pass from Kizito. And a little fake pass there from Dundao to clear the defense out of the way for his transition fast break bucket. Bale wide open. There's the three. You cannot give him that space or he will make you pay. Down for three. Too heavy. Rebound eventually falls into the hands of Okello. Bale, step back, jumper, short. Bale seems to be better at shooting them from distance than he is that little mid-range game. As much as it's still a jump shot, it is a different game to play. Getting a little physical in the post now. Foul's going to be called. That one on Achero. And both coaches now will be thinking about rotating. We'll start thinking about tomorrow's game to a certain degree. Achero there called for the foul, just reaching in. Both coaches now will be starting to think, how can they use the remainder of today's game to help them tomorrow? For both coaches, it will be about how do I keep fresh legs across the roster, which players have played the most minutes, which players could do with a rest, and the travelling violation will be called on Fernandez. Uganda will be in the middle game tomorrow against Cote d'Ivoire, and Angola once again will be the evening game against Cape Verde. That should be an absolute barnstormer of a game, Angola against Cape Verde. Both teams still within a chance of winning a spot at the World Cup. So much to play for both of them. Oh, that is a tough three from Achero. Just steps into it like his team are up by 30, let alone down by. Domingos now moves it well. Doe in the low post. Looked like he was going to go for the little running hook shot. Instead it comes back out, recycles. Another offensive rebound. No, it's not. It eventually falls to Obleng for Uganda. Just over 3 minutes to play, and what a second half Angola have given us here. Okello with the score. But Angola have given us a demonstration of why they are so iconic in African basketball, and really why they should be making waves at World Cups every time. It's the finish from Francisco. As Angola continue to crash the offensive glass hard. Ochero along with the three. Off Bale's foot now, so it'll be an Angolan ball on the baseline. But as I was saying, this performance in the second half from Angola just reminds you of the golden age of Angolan basketball, when they were at every Olympics, every World Cup, and really pushing to be one of the better teams on the planet. If Angola can build out from this second half, find some consistency and some composure for the full 40 minutes, then they really can be a handful for most teams around the world. Baseline ball for Angola. They lead by 36 now. Sorry, 26. Just a little shoot alteration for Ochero. Two and a half minutes left on the game clock. Baseline drive, foul's going to be called. Nice tough play by Domingos. And coach Claros will be happy. There's no two ways about that. He clearly asked his team to be more aggressive, more direct, more confrontational almost in the way they play the game in the second half, and his team have delivered. You cannot question that. They have absolutely delivered on that message. Another offensive rebound for Angola. And Uganda have just not been able to hold back the red wave of players crashing the boards. And once again, a lack of boxing out. Sometimes you can't stop it, sometimes you can, but in that situation, Uganda didn't even offer resistance, really. As Francisco just grabs another offensive rebound. Add it to the dozens that Angola have secured here today. Misses the first of his two free throws, though. There will be tougher tests for Angola across this weekend. As I said, Cape Verde tomorrow, and then Nigeria on Sunday. Both of those teams likely to still be in the hunt. Well, definitely Cape Verde tomorrow will be. We'll see how results play out tomorrow. But it should go potentially all the way down to Sunday's games for this group. Ochero comes back to the top to Obleng. Back to Ochero, almost loses the handle. Angola's defense continues to be sprawling. Bale gets it away, and he's certainly cooled off in this second half. And there's the rejection by Odeke. And you have to give credit to Titus Odeke. The 23-year-old has been one of the most stable, consistent performers in today's game. Defensively has stayed with it throughout. And there's the block as he bats it out the baseline. Drive to the basket is good for Kokila. Plenty of appreciation from the fans courtside. Almost a backcourt violation, but instead it will just be a fast break bucket for Angola. As we enter the final 90 seconds of the game here in Luanda. Angola continue to fight. They continue to give Uganda nothing for free. And there's the rough rim shaker and the chest beating from Teotonio Doe. That gets the crowd on their feet. Foul's going to be called on Kizito. 44-18, Angola have outscored Uganda. And look at Doe, he is pumped. He's bringing the crowd into the game. He wants to be at the World Cup. Back into the game for Angola comes Joan. At the line is Down. It's the first of his two. And the second. 34-point lead now for Angola. One minute left to play here, and another steal. Doesn't get the score. And credit to Ochero, didn't give up, did fight back, but Angola will go again. Foul going to be called on Doe this time. Doe goes hard to the basket. Ochero fouls him. Doe will head to the free throw line for shots. Coach Senyondwa just asking the officials that he thought there were fouls the other way. The officials say not the way they see the game. There's a little fake and the throwdown, and that's what it means to him. Look how pumped he is. That is Mr. Angola. Teotonio Doe. This is the first of his two, though. And the crowd here in Luanda will play their part across this weekend. The Angolan team will want them, will need them at times. Misses the second as well. Comes away with nothing from that trip. Ochero puts the brakes on, kicks it out to Kizito. Ochero. Three off the glass is no good. At a 6-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Angola gonna run it all the way though to the buzzer. Inside, off the glass, the roll is favourable. And there are fans galore here in Luanda that have truly enjoyed this second half. Kizito, step back two, no good. Rebound, batted away. That will be Uganda ball on the baseline. 4.1 seconds left on the game clock. 36-point lead here for Angola. Shot goes up in the corner and it's good. Uganda want to go out on a high and Ochero helps them do so. But there's the final buzzer and there's only one winner here today, and that is Angola. What a second half from Coach Claros and his team. Final score here in Luanda, Uganda 49, Angola 82. What a game and what a performance in the second half from Angola. They were to not be denied here today. It really was something else, to be honest. The way Angola just flipped the switch there in the second half. They pushed on. A different performance on a different level, but look at that. 93 field goal attempts to just 53. That is only going to end one way. you are never going to come out with a win if the other team have almost twice as many shots as you, and if you get out rebounded 63-36, it's a big ask as well. Angola really did turn up in that second half in a big, big way. Leading all scorers, Dundao with 16, Bale led Uganda with 15, but the only score that matters is the one at the top, 82-49 in favour of Angola. Here are some of the top plays from that second half of action, and there are plenty, many of them from the men in red. That was the first of many big throwdowns in the second half, but what a game. 3 Angolan players ended on double digits, but the bigger story for me is that every single player in the Angolan roster ended up on the scorebook in the box score. Dundao will take some of the praise. He ended up with 16 points, 4 rebounds and 6 steals. Also in double digits was Gonçalves. He had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists and 3 steals. And Monteiro had 10 points, shooting 2 from 9 from outside, but he did have 7 rebounds and 4 assists. For Uganda, they did all they could in the first half. They really did try their hardest. They pushed as hard as they possibly could, but they just didn't quite have enough here today, particularly in that second half. Fayed Bale came away with 15 points, 4 from 12 from downtown, alongside 2 steals. And then the only other player to hit double figures was Peter Obleng. He had 11 points, 4 rebounds and a block in the game. But the honours go to Angola here today. They end up our first day of action here in Luanda in the final qualification window with a huge win, 82-49. That is a big, big win for the home team and gives them a big step forward. So Angola now move to a 6-2 record. That keeps them second in the table. Just behind them, though, with a 5-3 record is Cape Verde. And then in 4th place is Nigeria with a 4-4 record. It's those 3 teams that are fighting it out for the final spots to qualify for the World Cup. It's those 3 teams that a lot of the attention is on here in Luanda this weekend. But as I said, first of 3 games for both of these teams. Angola will face Cape Verde tomorrow. For me, that's the biggest game of the day. Uganda will take on Côte d'Ivoire. And then on Sunday, it all could come down to these games. Uganda against Guinea, that is the runner-up game. But the big one to close out the weekend in Luanda, Nigeria against Angola. That could be a straight shootout for who goes to the World Cup and who doesn't. So much still ahead of us here in Luanda across the weekend. Do make sure you keep tuning in for all of the games. There is a ton of action coming your way, that is for sure. But all the action we've had here today, the final score in Luanda is Uganda 49, Angola 82. It's been a wonderful game. I hope you've enjoyed every last second of it as much as I have. The big second half performance from Angola is enough to get them the win and keep them in the fight for a spot at the World Cup later this year. Here are some of those highlights from the second half as we look to close things out here. Remember, if you want to check out the box score, do head over to whichever app store you buy your apps from and download the official FIBA World Cup app. You'll be able to get all the highlight videos to your heart's content through that app. So our game here has finished up, and the final score in Luanda is Uganda 49, Angola 82. A great way to close out the day with the home team putting on a real show for the fans here in the second half. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back with more action in the coming days.
Olivier? Ah, ok. Il faut monter par ici. Ok, obrigado. Ok, obrigado.